Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Kate Thompson, a principal broker here at Best Real Estate Company, and this is the latest episode of our agent podcast, the Best Real Estate Company's Friday Focus. And I don't have a lot to share with you guys today, so this is going to be a short podcast. I did want to point out a couple of things that I think are pertinent for us agents to be prepared to do in the coming up year. For those of you who are not aware, the National Association of Realtors last year implemented a new rule that went into effect January of 2025, and that is in addition to our core classes that we have to take for continuing education, depending on which state you're licensed in. Your core classes consist of anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. We also, if we're realtors, have to take an ethics course every 3 years so that we can meet that requirement for ethics. I have been participating as what they call at the National Association of Realtors a C2EX ambassador, and basically my role as an ambassador was to share with people the benefits of going through the C2EX training, which is free. And it gives an array of different topics that you can study for and learn about, everything from customer service relations and how you should deal with that. And also, that's just the start of it. It also goes through ethics, cybersecurity, different things like that. And if you are able to complete the course through C2EX, which is free, you can get a certification so you can be C2EX certified, and that will satisfy your ethics requirement. A lot of us bypass that still. We still have a lot of agents who don't take advantage of their free opportunity, and you spend time and financial resources paying for the ethics. So I did want to let you know that you have that option for ethics to satisfy that. You can do it absolutely free if you're a realtor. The way to do that is that now you have to download the C2EX app to your phone or tablet in order to access it. And the way to do that is you can either go to c2ex.nar and download the app from the C2EX NAR website, or you can go to your Play Store or your whether it's a Google Play Store or an Apple store and download the app there. They do give you a little test that you have to take, and then that test gauges your proficiency in an array of topics, and if you are proficient enough according to the algorithm or the rules that are set up in the C2EX app, then you can skip certain topics in there, which makes getting through the program a lot faster. And so I have done that for the last 4 years. I have saved that little $30 or $40 or whatever it is each time we've had to renew our license for at least the last 4 years. And so because I was C2X certified, I did not have to pay for the ethics course. So that is one thing that I want to remind you guys about, that option is there for us to use. This is the first year that everybody's going to get that 3-year time period there in order to complete their ethics training. And so I just want to make sure that that is an option. Now, in addition to the C2EX training for customer relations that we can do, which would satisfy the ethics requirement, we now also have to have a DEI course or fair housing course. And we have to understand what discrimination is within the realtor industry and how people can be discriminated against, and what we as professionals need to do in order to help people to be able to exercise their rights if they find or feel that they have been discriminated against as it relates to buying, selling, or renting a home. And so one of the things that they have done to help us with that is that they have opened up Fair Haven 2.0. And I am in the process of taking the course now. It is totally interactive. There's not a lot of reading. There's lots of videos and things of that nature in their little short videos that you have to watch and answer questions. So it's a simulation. You go through the simulation. They have different towns within each of the little, within the simulation. And you go into each little town, and there are different issues that are arising from people having scenarios where they might not have had a smooth experience writing an offer, getting their offer accepted, and things of that nature. And they give real life examples of that throughout the simulated course. So if you take the fairhaven.nar simulation exercise, you can download it from the Realtor store for free. And it takes about 2 hours to get through the entire simulation. And once you've done that, you have will then be able to submit your certificate of completion to your local board, and that board will then give you the credit that you need to satisfy the fair housing requirement, and that will last for 3 days. Now, for those of you who are not realtors, this does not apply to you. While I think it is important that everybody understands the laws and how they work in regards to discrimination and the rules that are surrounding fair housing, we need to understand those rules in order to keep ourselves safe, no matter who we are, if we are, whether we're a realtor, a real estate agent, or what have you. The main thing, though, is making sure that if you are a realtor, that you have this requirement satisfied by the end of 2027. So they're giving us 3 years to get this done. So I would urge everybody not to wait until the last minute where you're scrambling to figure out something for this requirement. I haven't seen any other classes come up that would satisfy this requirement as of yet, although I'm sure over time we will get some. But the Fair Haven simulation right now is the best way to accomplish that, getting that requirement. So in order to get to the Fair Haven, in order to get to the Fair Haven simulation, you would just go to fairhaven.nar, or also go through the Realtor store and click on education, and you'll be able to find the course there. You don't have to download it to your phone or anything. You can just operate within it right from your web browser. And like I said, once you have completed the course, then NAR will give you a certificate that will help you to get the credit for it with regard to your state licensing boards and the continuing education. I strongly urge people to make sure that you are keeping up also with when your Arizona emission insurance expires. For those of us who are not aware, the Tennessee Real Estate Commission has instructed us to put everybody, or they have instructed us that they are changing the requirements for the length of time for our Arizona emissions. And so for those of you who purchased the Rice insurance, you got kind of a little bit of of a discount it looked like when you got your errors and omissions this year. The reason why is because they're wanting everybody's errors and omissions insurance to be due at the same time after this last term. So those of us who bought Rice Insurance, which is, by the way, the preferred insurance carrier for the state of Tennessee, they gave us a little bit of discount. So we only had to pay for 1.5 years worth of errors and omissions insurance this time. And so that's why your fee for the errors and omissions was a little bit cheaper. Once the time for us to renew our errors and omissions insurance comes up again, which will be in July 2027, I believe, or July 2026, I'm sorry. July 2026, everybody will then be on the same trajectory with that in the time frame for where they will need to renew. And so we will all be, after this last time, renewing our errors and omissions insurance in Tennessee at the same time. So I just wanted everybody to be aware of that. Also, when you're looking at, the pricing for errors and omissions insurance, I know that some of us flip-flop from one insurance carrier to the other, from, say, Rice to Crest. You want to make sure that you're getting the same coverage. I know people want to say that sometimes it's different, maybe by $4 or $5. Just make sure that you are reading what you're getting in terms of coverage, and making sure that that coverage is adequate to protect you in as many ways as possible. One of the last things that I want to urge people to do is that we are at the beginning of the new year, 2025. I'm already on 2026. That's so funny. 2025, a lot of people are starting over in terms of their pipelines and things of that nature. They are looking for opportunities and things of that nature. So I just wanted everyone to know that I do have some agents that have come to me and expressed interest in possibly working with, some other agents to be able to get some deals. For the last few years, I've really tried to stress that if you have a client who needs help with real estate in an area that you're not licensed in, that maybe our first step should be looking within our firm to find people to work with, so that we can keep, our make sure that all of our agents are able to be successful and are able to grow together. And I do know that some of you have great relationships with people outside of our office. And, because you have those relationships with those people, you may feel more comfortable sending them certain types of deals, and that's fine. I just wanted everybody to know, though, that if you are in a situation where you do need to work with someone because you have a day job or some other obligations that prohibit you from being able to purchase or help someone to purchase or sell, that you reach out to the office so that we can help you to locate someone that can help you get the job done. Also, I wanted to let everybody know that I didn't receive a lot of requests for people to sign forms. People are requesting for me to sign forms for them to be admitted to the multi-million-dollar club over at NAR. We also had a drop in the number of people who wanted to apply for the multi-million-dollar club with NAR. And that's no skin off my back. I do realize that the numbers changed for our MAR, and so that affected some of our abilities to get that recognition. And with that being said, I wanted to go ahead and recognize some of our top agents that we've had within our firm in this last year. And because I'm the Tennessee broker, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt who our top agents were for the year, and we are going to recognize them really quickly. I'm just going to tell you their names. If you see them out and about in the community, or as some realtors function or whatever, make sure that you let them know, that you're proud of the work that they did, and that you're happy that they were able to receive such an honor and be recognized here on this call. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get that rolling. The number 1, 2, and 3 spots in our office for the state of Tennessee were normally held by usually the same group of people. And so I'm happy to report that we have some new top agents in our office, and not really sure. I'm not really sure, how everybody decided to change their plans up and things for this last year, and what the circumstances were for individuals to have done things differently. But I am excited that we have these new people to recognize. And so I am just going to pull up my little sheet here so that it will tell me who the top agents were. So it's going to tell me who the top agents were in our office in the state of Tennessee for 2024. I just want to make sure. I have them in the top of my head, but I just wanted to be sure that I was going to give you the right information. So our office, Best Real Estate Company in the state of Tennessee, we ranked at number 32 out of the top 50 offices in our area, which is really, really good. I've seen us be up as far as 15 in terms of that. And so while the numbers are not as good as they have been in the past, I know that a lot of that has to do with how the market has been for us this last year. We still wound up within the top 50 for the year, and so I'm very, very proud of that and proud of the work that we did. We were able to hold our own, and now I have the list of the top 10 agents in Tennessee here with me, and we're going to go ahead now, and I'm going to tell you who the top 5 were. So number 1, our number 1 top agent of the year is Miss Tanika Bland. So congratulations to Tanika for being the number 1 agent here with Best in the state of Tennessee for 2024. Our second highest producing agent in terms of volume is Mr. Jonathan Bunch. Number 3 is Mr. Corey Mayhorn. Number 4 is Mr. Walter Jones. And number 5 is Miss Elizabeth Castile. We, like I said, have had a changing in guard, so to speak, with regards to who the top producing agents are. I'm going to give honorable mention to the numbers 6 through 10, just so that we can know who the top 10 agents were. in the state of Tennessee. So number 6 is Miss Rolene Austin. Number 7 was Miss Stephanie Anderson. Number 8 was Miss Earlene Aldridge. Number 9 is Miss Lisa Thomas. And number 10 was Mr. Vin Lee. So these are the top 10 agents in the state of Tennessee in terms of sales volume. The number 1 agent in terms of units sold is also Tanika Bland. Right after her is Walter Jones. And then after her is Jonathan Bunch, Corey Mayhorn, and Rolene Austin. And I also would like to say that Tanika and Elizabeth Casil were tied. So in terms of number of units, so they both sold the same number of units, but Tanika ranks number 1 because of the sales volume. Also in the state of Mississippi, the number 1 agent in Mississippi was, of course, Jonathan Bunch, for several years running now. So congratulations to Mr. Bunch for being our number 1 agent in Mississippi. And the number 1 agent that we had in the state of Arkansas is Ms. Lydia Nance. So yay! This is wonderful for all of these people, I'm sure. And like I said, when you see them around and out and about on the town, make sure that you congratulate them for all the work that they put in 2024. I'm looking forward to 2025 and seeing what our agents are going to be able to accomplish there. I am optimistic, guys, just so you know, I'm optimistic. I think that we are going to see some things happening that will allow for us to make some very unique transactions occur in the world of real estate. I know that there's a lot of buzz around building more affordable housing, so you guys need to be on the lookout for that. I strongly encourage people to check out once a month. They just had one this past Tuesday, I believe. The city council meetings for Shelby County. They do stream those live on YouTube, and they talk a lot about how they're spending the taxpayer dollar and different ways. And one of the sections that I'm always interested in is to hear what they're going to be doing to bring more affordable housing. So I strongly urge you guys to do that. Pay attention to what our government is doing in terms of that, and keep your ears on the ground with the different builders in the area. We have some small independent builders that are becoming mighty because they are buying individual lots in established neighborhoods, and they are building new homes in those areas, hoping to revitalize a bunch of neighborhoods. So don't sleep on any area within Shelby County. That's my message. Don't sleep on any area. Every area has opportunity. When you are talking to people about listings, you want to make sure that you're hearing what their reason is for listing, and then going ahead and helping them to develop a plan to accomplish their real estate goals. More than anything else, you can market, you can get 1 million people to call you, but if you can't provide solutions for them, then they're just going to move on to the next agent. And so we really don't want that to be happening. If any of you are having any trouble with scripting, I have some wonderful cards here with different scripts. No one can have my cards because they hold a sentimental value to me, but I will let you come into the office if I'm here and make copies of these cards if you need to. But they are what you call trigger cards or script cards to take you through many stages of effective real estate sales. They are prepared. The scripts on here are set up for daily situations, prospecting people in person or on the phone, effectively follow up, how to make a great listing presentation, how to handle objections, and more. So it's not a large stack of cards, but the scripts in here are very effective and they work. So if you're someone that's looking to do some of those things in terms of marketing, having some effective verbiage to help you get your point across to a potential client, I'm here to help with that. And I also want to remind people that I will be using my Fannie Mae certification for financial literacy and home buyer education to put on home buyer education and financial literacy classes. I'll be sending out through our announced email different dates for those. I just did one this past Saturday, and it was pretty a good one. And so I'll be setting up another one. I'm going to try to do those monthly, and I'm going to try to have them all either online or here at the office, so people are not confused as to where they're going to send their clients. If you have someone that's looking for ways to get on the path to home ownership and you are not in a position to teach them any tips, you can have them come to my home buyer education class. Just let me know that you are their agent and you sent them there, and I'll give them the tools that they need and send them right back to you so that you can put them in front of the right lender, what have you, so they can go ahead and become home owners. Also, I want to remind everyone to be sure to pay attention to your realtor publications. This one is called Create, and it is really the commercial realtors magazine. It's got a lot of great information in it. I believe this book comes out every quarter, so you'll get it every quarter. The realtor magazine comes out, I think, every other month or something like that. But they do have weekly updates that they'll email you, so make sure that you're paying attention to that. And, you know, just keep a positive attitude about your business this year. I know I had lots of conversations with agents in 2024 who expressed frustration with the markets. That is natural. It's natural for us to feel pressure when we don't have an abundance of products available. But there are people who sold millions of dollars. We have about 15 people in our office who sold right at $1 million or more than that. I'm not going to share any specific numbers, but just know that that is the case. And we have agents that did that across state lines. So some agents did it in one state, some agents did it in 2, some did it in 3. One of our biggest challenges, I think, in the real estate industry is being consistent in our practices and being consistent in following our plans and being consistent in keeping our faith about where we're going. I think that as long as we are able to do that, we should be fine. And just remember that, you know, the Creator God shows up for you in those times of crisis and challenges if you are keeping your eyes on the hill. So and focused on Him and making sure that He is your business partner every day. And that's just my faith talking. I know everybody has different ways that they look at that. But my belief and the way that I feel about that has not let me down, even though I might have had some changes in the volume or the number of units that I've sold from year to year. God has always been able and been willing to provide for me the things that I need. So I just want to encourage people to, keep your plans simple. Take your plans and break them down into little chunks, because everybody knows that you can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. And, make sure that you are putting out consistent quality work. Sometimes quality, especially when it comes to building relationships and things of that nature, is way, way more important than even your knowledge about a thing. So whenever you feel discouraged this year and you think, this one particular thing isn't going my way, you make sure to remember these words that I'm telling you now. That is, as long as you have God as your business partner and you're being consistent and faithful in working your plan, the plan will work for you. And so with that being said, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me for this podcast episode. And I will see you in a couple of weeks on the next one. Take care of yourselves and make sure that you're out there consistently working to sell something. Bye now.